Morning, everybody. What's your morning routine? What's your COVID-19 morning routine? What's your normal morning routine? What is the morning routine that you would like to have? What is the morning routine that the you want to be would have? This is the question of the day. I was up at 5:55 this morning. My alarm went off and my kids have been camping in the living room. So we've been having camp parties and all this kind of stuff. We've just been busying ourselves with a whole bunch of tasks that have needed to get done that have not had the opportunity to do because of the hustle and bustle of daily life. And so I've been taking this time that is slower for everybody to just kind of go ahead and do some of the things that I haven't been able to do. And then I've been thinking about, what is the morning routine that I would like to have in this morning? Because I got up at 5:55 and made breakfast and did my morning meditation and then took my daughter to work and came back here and did a few other little things. And, just sitting out here listening to the birds chirping and the cool breeze, and it's going to be another beautiful day, but which definitely helps with everybody's emotions and just the way we feel overall to have these beautiful days. So hopefully you are in a place that has a beautiful day and that you can actually appreciate and see it. But it made me think, morning routine made me think this morning, because I got up and I got all this stuff done already, and I'm bouncing over here and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do my conscious coffee. Oh, I'm going to write my article. Oh, I've got this to do. Oh, I've got that to do. Oh, I can get it all done before noon probably. And then I can take the rest of the day and I can go and I can plant those bulbs and I can, organize that, and I can work on the book that I'm working on, and I can do all these different things. I was thinking, wow, there's that it feels so good, because the last couple weeks have been so just moving at a different pace. And what I keep hearing from everybody is that their habits are all out of whack. I read someplace or heard someplace that here where I live in Texas, that we are considered one of the heaviest drinking states now. Alcohol consumption has gone up tremendously during this whole epidemic. And I was like, that can't just be a Texas thing. I'm pretty sure that is probably a world thing, and that alcohol consumption has just gone up on massive levels. Because what do? We try to bury ourselves. We try to cover it. We try to hide. We try to make ourselves feel good. We try to numb ourselves out, which is what alcohol does, right? It numbs us. So when we're really in the flow, when we're really just cranking it and living it and really breathing in the life that we want, we don't drink as much. Where when we're not living the life that we want, we drink more and we sleep more and we're just kind of lethargic. We're just kind of to life, right? We're just not doing. And the thing behind isolation, behind, stay at home rules right now, and just kind of keeping everything more on that pace, is that a lot of people, they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't even know how to be friends with themselves. And I read this quote the other day, and it said, people will like you just about as much as you like yourself. I was like, isn't that true? Isn't that so true? And we live in a world where we don't like ourselves, where we don't know ourselves, where we're not comfortable in solitude with ourselves. A lot of people cannot be by themselves without a whole bunch of chaos, without a whole bunch of noise, without something to entertain, something to consistently do. The idea of just being is foreign, is like, what the heck am I going to do? There's nothing. I can't do nothing. But sometimes the most growth happens in the nothing. Sometimes the most beauty reveals itself in the nothing, in that space of just silence. This is why studies like Vipassana and just taking a long reprieve from life, a vow of silence for a little bit, to not engage, to not connect, to not really always have something going on, is so deeply important. Because in that stillness we actually meet ourselves. We actually reveal ourselves. We actually expand and grow in that moment. That is the pause between breaths that allows us to really truly live, to really become more present in who we are. And I was realizing this morning that in the last couple weeks, I've had always a pretty good practice in the morning to create that pause, to create that stillness, to not just get up and go. I'm not the hustle and bustle person. Used to be that, don't get me wrong, fully am aware of what that life is like, and used to do that where I would just, wake up and hit the ground and just go, 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 go. Now I'm a go, go, go person. I really am. And I can exhaust myself pretty easily from my go-go. But I can tell you that having that moment in the morning of pause, that moment where I move into the day, into the presence of the day, actually expands out into tomorrow. It expands out into the way I work with different people, the way I communicate, the way I am able to share, the way I'm able to show up, the way I'm able to hold space for lots of different people is because of the pause in the morning. And what I've noticed is that my habitual pause of the morning has been completely out of kilter in the midst of world panic. Go figure. My pause went a little off balance in the midst of world panic. I think I had a good reason. But reasons are results, right? As one of my favorite self-help people would say, Les Brown. Reasons are results. So, reasons or results. And today I've just realized as I got up, because this was really truly the first day, I got back up at 5:55, which I used to, 2 weeks ago I was doing. In the last 2 weeks, I just have not been. I've been kind of just letting my body do what my body needs and really, caring for kids and caring for everything. And this morning I woke up and it was 5:55. My alarm goes off and I'm just like, yes. And I felt good. It felt good to get up. It felt good to stretch. It felt good to go into my morning routine, that habit of the pause again, and to just kind of gradually move into that. And I went, I wonder how many other people out there are experiencing this lack of what their positive morning routine was and how out of kilter they really truly are. And I'm sure that many, many people feel this. And then there are all of those out there who don't have a healthy morning routine, who get up and, are so used to just hitting it and just going and going and going, must get in traffic, must, slam the coffee, must run through the shower, must grab everything and go. And now, for those who still are commuting into work, who have to go to work, there's not a lot of cars on the road. The parking lots are empty. We don't have to fight for parking spaces right this very second. We don't have to, worry about rush hour traffic right this very second. Everything has slowed down and freed space up. So there's not quite that rush there. Well, isn't this a beautiful moment? Isn't it just a beautiful moment to kind of take that in and to allow yourself to feel what it's like to not rush? To not rush through your life, to not rush through the day, to not rush through the moment. And for those who have a great morning routine, a healthy routine, and maybe even what I call the pause in the morning to kind of, establish that flow in your day, to get back to that, to really become present in it. Because no matter how great we are on our morning routines become routine. And in the routine, what happens? We lose our presence. We start taking it for granted. We start ignoring everything that is really truly going on. And that's where we miss our life. That's where we miss the moments. That's where we miss the beauty. And I keep preaching the whole, yes, there is all of this panic. There is all of this fear, and fear is not going to solve anything. Coming back into presence, coming back into our heart center, embodying ourselves right now. That's what we need to be doing. We really truly need to embody ourselves. For the fate of the world, if more people can become embodied, if more people can go into themselves to heal themselves here and here, so that they can connect here better, and so that they see a different world picture, we're being given an opportunity to completely shift the dynamics of our world, to shift the dynamics of consciousness right now, because we're being offered a pause. We're being offered a moment to become more present. We're being offered a moment to recreate the habits that we thought were just needed. And here, if you take this time And if you are one of those hustle and bustle people that just has to go, 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 and is not providing yourself space for self-care, space to slow down, space to exercise, space to meditate, space to do the things that you actually want to do outside of, your job, outside of your family responsibilities. What's the things that you really truly want to accomplish in your life? Not just over this time of forced isolation, No, not over this time just alone, but what is it that you really want to look at over the course of your life? One of a beautiful woman that I follow, she's a fellow coach educator. Hold on just a second. She's a fellow coach educator and out in California. And I looked at one of her articles in her live stream yesterday. And she was talking about how she's taking this next 90 days to, yes, get done all the little tasks that I think a lot of people are on this path. Like, let's get done all the little tasks that we haven't done. But her opening line was, I'm giving myself the next 90 days the opportunity to fall in love. And I went, wow, that's beautiful. She's giving herself the opportunity to fall in love. And I went, what if the whole world gave itself an opportunity to fall in love? And here's the thing. If we each did this, if we each took up what she's focused on the next 90 days. Now, she's talking about two different falling in loves. The falling in love with herself again, and then she met a man right before this whole crisis popped out. And this whole crisis has actually really brought them together very quickly, and because they're leaning on each other for support and everything. So she's like, it's actually a really good thing. Now, a lot of the world can't say that. A lot of the world would say that this whole crisis thing is detrimental to their relationship. And I'm going to tell you that if this is detrimental to your relationship, then your relationship wasn't meant to be anyway, because crisis really does show our truth. Crisis really shows our truth in relationship for sure. It will pull us apart or it will bring us together. And if your relationship is starting to really, like, you see all of this negativity, there's lots of fighting, there's lots of irritation, no holding space, no understanding, no compassion, then guess what? If both people are in that victim body and it is just ego battle after ego battle where you are warring, then that's not the relationship for you. And guess what? That's what transformation is. Again, a beautiful gift. You're being given the opportunity right now to experience that maybe there's some things in your world that don't need to be there anymore. And that might be brutally hard to deal with, like a harsh reality check. But I can tell you what, I know for sure that in my line of work with coaching people and a lot of it about relationship, that I'm going to see a massive amount of people that are going, my relationship's over. My relationship's over now. I'm like, yeah, because you know what? The truth was revealed and you could not ignore it anymore. How beautiful is that? Like, that's a beautiful opportunity. Just as is the opportunity to fall in love with somebody else, to fall in love with self, most definitely to fall in love with self. But how do we fall in love with self? Later, I'm probably going to write an article on falling in love with self, because I think that this is probably a primary focus that we need to have in this movement of stillness, as we really learn how to emerge from this healthier and still and together, and really allowing ourselves to experience that life. Because hopefully most people will go, holy crap, like that was a moment where I got halted. And now I'm so hungry for the things that I haven't yet achieved, so hungry for the things that I haven't yet allowed myself to experience, allowed myself to go do, because I really haven't been living. And that's kind of like what happens, right? We're getting the air sucked out of us right now. So we're going, oh wow, I'm not really living. Well, part of living is to love, right? And to really allow yourself to love. But much like the quote it said that I just shared earlier, people will like you just about as much as you like it yourself. Well, you got to like yourself to love yourself. And in order to receive love and to be loved and to have those love-based relationships, then you have to learn how to love yourself. And that doesn't mean that you have to become perfect, because It's not going to happen. You're human. You got your imperfections. You got to learn how to love your quirks. You got to learn how to love your mistakes. You got to learn how to love the things that you're not good at. You got to learn how to love the things that you're fucking phenomenal at. The things that, like, love the fact that you are good at something. Love the fact that you're not good at something. Love the way you are, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, your beliefs, all of that stuff. But that means that you have to be willing to, number one, create the pause, right? Pause within the pause. That's that morning. Can you create a healthy morning routine? Can you create space? Now that space is kind of being really provided for you, can you actually commit to creating space? Not just for the sake of saying, I created space, I did a meditation, I exercised, I wrote in my journal, I did this, I did that, check, check, check. No, we're not checking the boxes. That defeats the purpose. This is about you falling in love with you, coming back to you, embodying you, making you the most important person in your world, because you are the most important person in your world, because that's the way you're going to really allow yourself to heal, really allow yourself to emerge, to grow, to expand. This is called self-love, to really put the application towards self. It's so easy for us to love our children. It's so easy for us to fall in love with somebody else and to go, I love that person. I would do anything for that person. I would do anything for my children. I would do anything for my brother, my sister, my best friend, my da-da-da-da-da. But then when we come back to self, we have an issue, right? But this causes separation because our energy is not aligned. And we have to start to fall in love with self, because if we actually fell in love with ourselves, the ripple effect from that is going to affect everything, absolutely everything. Because if you really truly love yourself, you want the best for self. And if you want the best for self, that means you want the best for the people around you, for the world around you, for everybody, because it comes back to you. If you're not putting out the best version of yourself, if you're not really truly coming from a place of heart, then you're actually throwing like kerosene out there and you're causing fires, you're causing disarray instead of actually putting out good stuff. So I want you to ask yourself today, what are the top three things that I can do for me in the midst of this crisis, to not make it a crisis, to bring the attention off of the crisis, to bring it back to love, not love of the world even, not fear around the world, because remember, fear is the opposite side of the spectrum of love. Where there is fear, there cannot be love. We're operating in a state of ego. We're operating in a state of illusion, in a state where there's a void and there's no space for love. So we have to slowly move toward that, and then we have to jump into love. But if we come at this from love, if we start to focus in here and we start to really truly do the work, the internal work of loving self, clearing out the shame, clearing out the guilt, clearing out the neediness, becoming more vigilant about the things that we need to be doing for self-care, for everything that we need in our life, mentally, emotionally, physically. What are those top three things that completely change your world? We all have at least three things. I'm not asking you to focus on the 100 list that you probably could come up with. But if you just look at three things, from the moment your alarm goes off in the morning, and if you stop setting your alarm, start setting your alarm, okay? That doesn't count as one of them, by the way. But start setting your alarm. Commit to getting up at a certain time. What is that time frame that you need in the morning so that you can do the work that you need to do on you? You can spend the time with you, present, not online, not, sitting there watching TV or listening to the radio. This is the moment that you spend with just you. Just you. If that sounds a little scary, then this is definitely for you. What are the top three things that you can do that are healthy, that are opening, that are a little bit challenging, that's going to require you to step in and commit to really expanding yourself, to really pushing yourself on loving you? I can guarantee it all wraps around presence, okay? So, where are you not present with self? Where are you just taking self for granted? Where are you just taking your life for granted? Where are you just expecting things to just kind of just keep going? It's just going to go. I'm going to just ignore it. Where are you buffering yourself? and bring yourself back to you. Stop the buffering. Stop the numbing. What can you do for you today? Habits, choices. That's what I titled it, right? Habits, choices. All about today for the sake of tomorrow. And that's what it's about. It's for the sake of tomorrow. If you are one of those people out there that are worried about tomorrow, and you're worried about where this world is going and what is going to come of it, no matter what your reasoning is back there, realize that still, today is the only day you have. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and yesterday's over and done with. Today is right here. Today is what you're living. Today is where you're at. And if you make the best of today, then your life is going to be freaking amazing, because today is your life. And you don't get to choose about all the other stuff. And you know what? When you make today great, it impacts tomorrow, because that ripple goes out. Okay? It goes out into tomorrow. It impacts everything. Absolutely everything. And the more you apply your focus to the presence of today, to really truly living today, to really truly loving the day, finding the blessings, finding the joy, finding the connection, reaching out, speaking your heart a little bit more, letting yourself be seen, and not buffering everything. Don't hide. Don't do this. No hiding. No hiding. Take the hands down off of the face. And allow yourself to see the beauty in today. Allow yourself to see the beauty in yourself. If you have it within yourself to share your 3 things on comments, it would be much appreciated. Otherwise, if you would like to text or email those or private message those to me, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I love hearing your comments. I love hearing your shares, what's going on in your world, what you need, what you're thinking about, what you're focusing on. I definitely love hearing all of that and able to hold space and support you guys where you're at and with what you are going through. If I've said anything in here that made you think of somebody that needs to hear this message, or that you went, okay, maybe this message needs to get out. Yeah, what would a little bit of self-love do for this world and for this crisis situation that the world is in? Well, then hit the share button. Help me get these messages out. Help me touch other people's lives and to expand the love, expand the light, and to really help people heal themselves and come out of this crisis in a healthy fashion, not in fear. So hit the share button. As always, remember, you're worthy of that fuck yes life. You're worthy of the life that you want right now, right here. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right here. But it does require you to be present and to love yourself. As always, stop existing, start living. You can catch me tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. I will also be teaching a class on Saturday, a free Facebook Live training here, all on safeguarding yourself from the coronavirus, safeguarding yourself in your relationships, in your health, in your wealth. As this crisis comes about, what are those top 10 plus things that you can do in those areas to truly change your world? Come out of this crisis strong. Come out of this crisis on purpose. Come out of this crisis with passion, with creativity. Come out of this crisis better than you went into it. That's a goal. Come out of it with the allowance of love. Love coming into your life and flowing out of you into this world. I love you guys. I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee.